She sees Harry and she's like, and he's like, oh, hey, little girl who...
like...
I mean, that's pretty much what happens. And then, so they go to Diagon Alley to get their stuff. And while they're there, they run into Hermione.
What's up, everybody? This is Zach
and Allie
with Nerd Cave. We hope that you're having a great day. This is our new show called As Far As I Remember.
As far as I can remember.
As far as I can remember.
I mean, it's the same thing.
I couldn't even remember.
No, I'm not allowed.
I'm not the one telling the story.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
So last video we had me talking about Darth Bane.
And it was Gary Ida.
Gary and Ida. Master Shark Tank.
Master Shark Tank, Sith Cray Cray.
Sith Cray Cray, all of that. Go check it out. We're talking about the Darth Bane books and everything. The one before that, you talked about Harry Potter book 1.
That was our pilot episode.
Yeah,
Ran
the
a little
Philosopher's Bro.
The Philosopher's Bro.
And today we're going to be talking about
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Bros.
Yeah, so...
Or more commonly known as Chamber of Secrets.
Yes. If you haven't watched episode 1, it's our pilot episode of the series. Mm-hmm. Go check it out. It is great. And
it's gonna explain more of jokes like Chamber of Bros.
Yeah, you'll understand where we're coming from. Like if you're coming in second episode, you'll catch on, but you'll enjoy it a lot more if you watch the first one or listen to it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give Allie a
timer because I get scatterbrained very easily and I'll go off on tangents, and so I need like.
I don't help as well because I'll...
yeah, you'll be like, oh, what about this? I'm like, oh, yeah, that.
So I'll try not to do that this time.
No, it's okay. I personally am a recipe for disaster.
So here we go. We're going to set a timer and we'll see how far we go.
Alright, so we start off with, we're back with Harry Potter. He's back at the Dursleys.
Yeah.
He's waiting to hear from his friends all summer, but they never write to him.
Yeah,
he's like,
they're horrible friends.
Yeah, he's like, I guess I don't know what bros are. I thought I knew all these notes I took all last year. They're worthless. I don't know anything.
He throws the book out.
Yeah.
Like, he's so upset.
He's so upset. He just throws it out. But then his uncle comes up and he's like, hey, I'm having dinner guests over. You better keep your mouth shut or otherwise you suck. And Harry's like, okay, thanks. But then it turns out this house elf, he pops up out of nowhere and he's like, whoa, what are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Dobby, and I've been hiding all of your letters from your friends.
You gotta do the voice.
I'm Dobby the house elf. I'm Dobby the house elf. As far as I remember, that's what he sounds like. Yeah. But again, this is a book, so he can sound like whatever I want him to.
Noshy thick.
I can't do that with my voice right now.
I'm just messing with you. We've already chased many rabbits in the minute that we've...
You know what? Oh, well. Anyway, so he's like, oh my gosh, he's like, give me the letters back. And Dobby's like, no, also, I don't want you to go back to Hogwarts. And Harry's like, no, I'm going back to Hogwarts. But then Dobby causes trouble. And then his aunt and uncle, they blame him. So they literally, they lock him in his room. They're like, no, you're trapped. You're never going back to that school. And
Which is like, under the staircase.
No, he's in his own bedroom now because the Dursleys are like kind of scared of him now since he's a magic boy. They're kind of scared of him.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, you can have your own room. Please just don't turn us into frogs. And Harry's like, well, maybe I will turn you into a frog. But then the Weasleys, because they haven't heard from Harry all summer, they're like, okay, we are concerned. We need to go. Maybe like the Dursleys like killed him. We need to go save him.
Yeah.
So they use their dad's flying magic car because their dad works at the Ministry of Magic and the misuse of Muggle artifacts department. Mm-hmm. And so they go and like get things that people might have enchanted and like that they can't do. But Mr. Weasley, he actually likes to keep a lot of them. And one of them was an enchanted car. And so they take the enchanted car, they get Harry, they bust him out of his room, and they take him back to the burrow where the Weasleys live. And so they show up, and their mom's...
Burrower?
The browo.
That's really hard to say.
The browo. Yeah, just the browo.
Yeah, browo.
The browo. And so they show up, and Mrs. Weasley's like, what is wrong with you? And they're like, oh, okay, but he's like, they were starving him. And she's like, I mean, yes, that's good. I mean, not that they were starving him, but I'm glad you rescued him. And then she's like, okay, fine, but we got to go to Diagon Alley so we can get everybody's school supplies. And then Ginny Weasley shows up, and it's going to be her first year at Hogwarts. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees Harry, and she's like, and he's like, oh, hey, little girl who...
like...
I mean, that's pretty much what happens. And then, so they go to... So they go to Diagon Alley to get their stuff. And while they're there, they run into Hermione. I gotta keep going.
I'm just picturing it's like this 7 foot tall, like man beast, like with red hair, dressed exactly like.
So
all right, Hermione.
Okay, so they run into Hermione at Diagon Alley, and she's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And no, Harry, I'm not fixing your glasses because we can't do magic outside of school. And Harry's like, "Okay, that's a weird detail to mention, but thank you." So, but then there's this new guy. His name's Gilderoy Lockhart, and he's like all the ladies are like, "Oh my gosh, he's so handsome, and he's such a great wizard, and we love him." And Ron's like, "Stupid, I don't care about him." And Harry's like, "He looks dumb. I don't really care one way or the other." One way or the other, whatever.
One way or the other.
And then they run into Lucius Malfoy and Draco Malfoy, who's the gross pale blonde kid from last time.
Yeah.
And Lucius Malfoy's like, "Ugh, the Weasleys, you're all stupid and poor." And then he's like, they, I don't know, bump people and I do remember, as far as I can remember, Lucius Malfoy, he starts throwing stuff, and then he leaves, and then Harry notices there's a new book in Ginny's, like, her bag, and he's like, "That's weird, whatever, it's, none of my business."
She steal him?
No. I mean, he doesn't know. She doesn't know. No one knows. I know.
And you're the narrator.
But we haven't gotten to that part in the book.
Okay, keep going.
So they're getting ready to leave. So they go back to the Burrow. Everyone's getting their stuff packed. They're getting ready to go to the train station. Jenny goes, "Oh my gosh, wait, I forgot my diary." And Harry's like, "She keeps a diary." Wow, weird. And Ron's like, "Dude, she's 11.
She's like...
And so she runs back in, gets her diary. So they go off to school. Then Harry and Ron decide to hang back, and then they try to go through the platform, but oh my gosh, it's closed. They can't get through the brick wall. And so Harry's like, "Why don't we just like wait here and like not move?" And Ron's like, "I don't know. I kind of want to do something." And Harry's like, "Well, let's wait by the car." And Ron's like, "Oh, bro, the car." And Harry's like, "Yeah, the car."
Bros and cars.
And so they get in the car, they turn on the special invisibility switch, and then they fly to Hogwarts. But then they crash into the Whomping Willow, which is a super ancient tree that's also like very moody and doesn't like people touching it.
Likes whomping it.
Likes whomping. It's the Whomping Willow. Whomp, whomp, whomp. And then they get in trouble by Professor McGonagall, Professor Snape, but Dumbledore's like, "They're fine." And Snape's like, "They literally could have exposed us, like the wizarding world." And Dumbledore's like, "That's fine. I don't care. They're fine."
We have a big train.
Yeah, but like, no, we're fine. Like, guys, like, we got 5 more books to get through. They're fine. And so, as the year goes on, actually, they find out that their next Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher is that one guy, Gilderoy Lockhart, and Harry and Ron are like, "Oh god, he's so annoying." But as the year goes on, Harry starts hearing these like weird like whispers in the walls, and he's like, it's like, "Hey, bro, can you get me a pizza?" And Harry's like, "Pizzas? Sabra, what? They're different kinds of bros." And so then Gilderoy's like, "Ooh, I'm in light of recent events, because there's this cat that got petrified, and there was a message written on the wall in blood that said, 'Enemies of the air, beware, the Chamber of Secrets has reopened.'" And then...
Oh, I said it, didn't you?
What?
Yeah, it felt like you were about to say it.
No. As far as I can remember, that's what happened. And then Gilderoy Lockhart's like, "So in light of that happening, we're going to start a dueling club." And Harry and Ron are like, "That sounds awesome."
Yeah.
And then Malfoy and Harry are dueling. He summons a snake, and Harry tries to talk the snake down. He's like, "Hey man, don't attack anybody." And Snake's like, "Oh, don't attack anyone." Harry's like, "Yeah, no, don't attack anyone." Snake's like, "Oh yeah, no, cool. That's cool, bro."
Yeah,
And Harry's like, "Oh, bro, wait, snakes can be bros?" And so everyone's like freaking out. They're all looking at Harry weird, and he's like, "Guys, what's the matter? I'm just talking to the snake." And they're like, "Here," and then Ron and Hermione pull him away, and he's like, "Guys, why is everyone freaking out? I'm just talking to snakes." They're like, "Have you talked to a snake before?" And he's like, "Yeah, like last year I talked to one over the summer. Like he was chill dude. He just wanted to, try to find like where his country was. He was born in captivity, but he went." And they're like, "Dude, you spoke to another snake." He's like, "Yeah, what's the big deal? Can't everyone do that?" And they're like, "No, no, Harry, that's weird. And he's like, but we're magic boys and girls. That's like, no, Harry. That's like a special thing. And Salazar Slytherin, the dude who found the evil snake house, he's like, yes, I'm familiar. And they're like, yeah, he could talk to snakes. And Harry's like, oh no.
Yeah, but he is the magic boy.
He is, yeah, but everyone's like, oh, maybe like Harry's the one who's doing all this stuff, because like that's And he's like, but I'm like, why would I do that? And then during one of his Quidditch games, he's like he's flying, everything's fun. But then there's this one bludger, which is
the big ball.
Yes, it's a big ball. There's two members on each team. They're called beaters, and the whole point is they hit the bludgers towards the other team to knock them off their brooms. It's a fun, deadly sport that we allow kids to play.
For entertainment. And school spirit.
And so, anyway, Harry, there's one that just keeps coming after him. He's like, well, what is with this bludger? And then he ends up catching the snitch, but it breaks his arm. And then Gilderoy's like, I've got this. But then he like just removes the bones from his arm. And it's just bleh. And so they take him to the hospital wing, and Madame Pomfrey, the school nurse, basically, she's like, okay, you need to stay here overnight. Harry, he keeps hearing these whispers, and he keeps hearing, so slithery. And Harry's like, I wonder what this could be. There's a lot of S's, and I'm hearing some slithery stuff. Not sure what's going on here.
If someone would just inform
if someone could just tell me what's going on. Another kid at the school gets petrified. Harry's like, well, that's awkward. And then one day he and Ron are sitting down for lunch, and Ginny comes up to them, and she's like in tears, and she's like, well, it looks like she'd been crying, and she's like really freaking out. She's like, guys, I need to tell you something. And they're like, okay, yeah, you can tell us what it is. And then Ron's older brother comes over, and he's like, hey, Ginny, move. And so Ginny doesn't get to tell them what she was going to say. And Harry's like, okay, I think she was going to tell something really important about the Chamber of Secrets. And Percy, the older brother, is like, what would she know? She doesn't know anything. She's 11.
Yeah, but she's huge.
Yeah, she's a huge 7 foot tall, 11-year-old girl.
Like, anytime you mention her, that's what I'm picturing in my head.
And then fun magic times ensue. And then one day they go to the bathroom because the bathroom's flooded.
Them in the bathroom.
They're just like the bathroom, man. They find there was this diary, and Harry's like, "Ooh, this kind of looks like." No, this couldn't be Ginny's diary. No, that's impossible. That doesn't make any sense. He sees it engraved on it, Tom of Arlo Riddle, and he's like, "That's a weird name, but okay." So he starts trying to figure out how he works, and it writes in it, and then all of a sudden he gets sucked into the book, and it shows him like these memories of like old school, and he sees Tom Riddle, and he's like, "Oh, okay, he's an upstanding dude, he's prefect, okay, that's cool stuff." And it turns out there was a girl who died years and years ago at Hogwarts, and Harry's like, oh, snap, that's not good. And then he's following this dude throughout his memories, and then he corners Hagrid, and he's like, Hagrid, you're gonna get expelled because you're the reason why a monster got loose and killed this girl. And Harry's like, oh my
bro.
Oh my bro. And then they're like, okay, well maybe, as far as I can remember, these are definitely the order of events that happened in this book. Yes. So they're like, okay, let's get some Polyjuice Potion. Malfoy has to know what's going on because he's in Slytherin and he sucks. And so...
Yeah, clearly evil.
Yeah, clearly evil. And so Hermione brews them a Polyjuice Potion. Harry and Ron turn into Malfoy's two friends, Crabbe and Goyle. And Hermione accidentally gets the wrong hair off of a girl, and it's cat hair, so she turns into a cat. She looks like a cat girl. And so they take her to the hospital. She's embarrassed.
I remember that now.
Yes. Oh, the thing that I showed you, and you're like, what? All that's, fun and good, all that fun stuff. And Hermione, but then eventually Hermione gets better, and then she's trying to figure out, like, something's going on. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to research this. I'm going to figure out what's happening. Yeah. So she goes to the library. They're about to play some Quidditch games, and McGonagall's like, okay, guys, sorry, the match is canceled. And Oliver Wood, who's the Gryffindor team captain, he's like, what? Quidditch is life. You cannot cancel this game. And McGonagall's like, don't you dare talk back to me, Wood. And he's like, but Quidditch, but sports. And McGonagall's like, I don't have time for this. And she's like, Harry, Ron, I need you guys to come with me. Something not great has happened. And they're like, oh, great, we're going to get expelled for something. So she goes...
This is just the third time this week.
Pretty much. They're just like, oh, great, what is it this time? And so she's like, hey, so Hermione, you're familiar with her? And they're like, yes, she is our friend. They're like, yeah, she got petrified. But she was holding a mirror. Do you have any idea what that was for? And they're like, no, this is a lot to take in. And so they're like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on. Something weird's going on. Going through, they're trying to figure some stuff out. And eventually, Ginny like disappears.
Yeah.
And it's like, she like they realized she'd been taken to the Chamber of Secrets, and Ron is freaking out. He's like, that's my little sister. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, where is she? And Harry's like, wait. The girl who died all those years ago, she died in the bathroom. She probably never left. It's got to be Moaning Myrtle, the ghost in the bathroom who's been hanging out with us the whole time. Yeah. Who we've totally mentioned already. And Ron's like, oh, you're absolutely right. It's got to be her. So they go to the bathroom, talk to her. They're like, hey, what's happening? And she's like, oh yeah, I died here. And the last thing I remember was seeing these like creepy like snake eyes over there. And they're like, snake eyes.
Dykes.
I don't know what it could be. And so like, okay, well, the teachers are telling Gilderoy to go find the Chamber of Secrets. We know where it is. Let's get him in here, and we can go save Ginny. Ron's like, yes, perfect plan. Let's do it. So they go to get Gilderoy, and then he's packing up his stuff. He's ready to leave, and they find out what they've kind of suspected the whole time is that he's a total fraud. Yeah. All the books and all these books he's published about his great deeds, he actually copied them down from other wizards, interviewing them, and obliviated them so they couldn't remember that they did it, and would take the credit for himself. And they're like, okay, well,
upstanding gent.
Yeah, really. And so they're like, well, okay, well, we don't care. You're going to come down there with us anyway, because too bad, so sad for you.
Yeah.
And so
Shouldn't have taken the position.
Shouldn't take the position. Again, and also, yes, Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. This is now the second time they're going to have to get a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher since they've been there. So they take him to the chamber. They go down through the secret tunnel passage that Salazar Slytherin had built, because he built this secret chamber under the school.
Of secrets. Lots
Chamber
of
Bros. So they go down to the Chamber of Bros, and they're like looking, and they're like, okay, it smells kind of wonk down here. So they're walking, and then Gilderoy's like, this is the end of the line, boys. And he's using Ron's broken wand, which broke whenever they crash into the Whomping Willow. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's so like it's been using like, it's called spello tape, as far as I can remember.
So what is it called?
Spello tape. And so he tries to obliviate the two kids so that way he can run away, but it backfires on him, and then he forgets everything. He's just bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
And Ron's like, okay, I'm going to stay here with him. You go on ahead and find my sister. And Harry's like, okay, sounds good. So Harry goes ahead, and then he sees Ginny laying on the ground. He's like, oh my gosh, she's dead. This giant 7-foot, 11-year-old girl is dead. And then
I thought she could handle herself.
And all of a sudden, Tom Riddle walks out. And he's like, wait, aren't you dead? Tom Riddle's like, I was. But I've been draining her life force, and now I'm alive. And Harry's like, why would you do that? That's so mean.
Like little Tom Riddle?
No, like, this would have been 5th year Tom Riddle? As far as I can remember, 5th year Tom Riddle.
Okay.
As far as I can remember. And I realize I've left out a huge part of the story, but you know what? We keep moving forward. There were spiders at one point.
Yes, big spiders.
And so,
You're good on Tom.
Okay. Yeah, there were big spiders at one point because the whole monster that, so Tom Riddle's like, okay, so remember how you met that one spider out in the woods because you were trying to figure out why I had like framed Hagrid? And Harry's like, yeah. He's like, well, Hagrid was raising the spider, that giant spider that you met. And Harry's like, yes. He's like,
Arachnid.
It's an arachnid. As far as I can remember. Arachnid, yes. As far as I can remember, that is what they are called, is arachnid. Can we have Arachnid in the Poster Man universe?
Yes. It's better than Spider-Man.
And so he's like, yeah, so I knew that Hagrid had this pet spider, this pet arachnid. Yeah. And so I said that he let this arachnid loose on that poor girl in the bathroom and killed her. And I framed her for it. And Harry's like, oh, that is so not cool. And Tom Riddle's like, but I'm actually an heir of Slytherin, so I can speak parcel tongue. And Harry's like, oh, so that's what it's called. I like to be told these things. And Tom Riddle's like, bro, does no one tell you these things? And I'm like, bro, what? And so Tom Riddle's like, oh, and then plot twist, you know my name, Tom Riddle Riddle. And he's like, check this out. And then he's like, it actually spells out, I am Lord Voldemort. And Harry's like, okay, that's a fun coincidence. And Tom Riddle's like, no, I am Voldemort. And Harry's like, oh, bro.
He like waits for him to respond.
And Voldemort's like, and Tom Riddle, he's like, what? He's like, okay, no, never mind. And he's like, all right, but now, since you've come down here, now you have to face it off against my snake, the giant basilisk, which has a deadly stare. If it looks you in the eyes, you're dead. And Harry's like, well, then how come the other ones didn't, like, die? And he's like, well, they only saw reflection, or some kind of reflection. The cat saw the reflection in the water. The one student that you saw get petrified saw it through a camera lens. It's technically a reflection of light. And then Hermione, your weird little friend over there, Harry's like, that's mean. I was like, she had a mirror with her because apparently she's smart. And Harry's like, oh, okay. He's like, okay, but now you gotta fight my snake and peace. And so Tom Riddle's just hanging out on the side. He's like, Tom Riddle, he pulls a chair out, he's eating popcorn, and he's like,
Tom Riddle is the worst Pokemon trainer ever.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're so right. He only has Ekans.
Yeah, all he does is Ekans.
Because he has the Basilisk. Later, he'll get Nagini.
Yeah, he's like Ekans.
And so
he doesn't even let him level up.
Yeah, and so Harry's fighting it, and then he's like, oh my gosh, I can't. This isn't gonna work out. And all of a sudden, Dumbledore's giant phoenix named Fox swoops down and claws out the eyes of the Basilisk, so Harry can look at it and not get killed.
Yeah.
And so he's like, cool, I can make this work. And so he's fighting, and he's like weaving through all these tunnels and the sewer and the chamber. And then
the Chamber of Bros.
The Chamber of Bros. And then the Fox comes back and he drops the sorting hat. And Harry's like, what am I going to do with this? And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, whoa, this feels heavy. Yeah, he's like, this feels heavy with lice. Has someone cleaned this in the last almost 2 years? And then all of a sudden he sees something glittering and he pulls out the sword of Godric Gryffindor, the founder of Gryffindor House.
Yeah.
And so he gets the sword and he stabs the snake.
Yeah.
Through the roof, but when he does that, he gets a fang in his arm, and the basilisk venom is extremely deadly.
Yeah.
There's no cure for it. Mm-hmm. And Harry's like, well, lived a good 12 years.
Bros.
Well, bros. And Tom Riddle's like, and so then he's like, Tom Riddle's like, okay, so maybe you killed my basilisk, but it's fine, whatever. I'm still gonna be alive in a little bit because, that stupid girl, she just entrusted all of her secrets. All she talked about was how cute Harry Potter is and this and that. And Harry's like, I didn't need to know that, but thank you. And so then he's like, wait a minute, so you're saying that your life force come from this book? And Tom Riddle's like, yeah. And Harry's like, and he just stabs the book with the fang. And then Tom Riddle explodes, and all of a sudden Ginny, her 7-foot-tall self, shoots right up. And she sees Harry, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I tried to tell you and Ron what was happening. And Harry's like, it's fine. Can you, pick me up and, let's hightail out of here and get out of here? And so Ginny picks him up in one arm, and they...
Luke and Yoda, and, just lets him ride on her back.
Yeah, so Harry's riding on her back, and then she scoops up Ron and Gilderoy in her arms, and then Fox is like, hey, do you want to lift up? And Ginny's like, no, I don't need it. I'm good. And scales the walls back up to the school. And so then they're all reconvening, and Harry and Ron tell Dumbledore what happened, and then Lucius Malfoy shows up, and he's like, this is unacceptable. Dumbledore, you shouldn't be at the school anymore. And Dumbledore's like, I don't care about you. And Dobby's there, because Dobby actually works for the Malfoys, although he was working against them to try to keep Harry away from school, because he didn't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
And then Harry's like, oh wait, clothes said house elves free. So he takes off his sock and puts it in a book, hands the old broken diary, because he was like, hey, Dumbledore, can I keep this? And Dumbledore's like, yeah, it's not a Horcrux anymore. You can have that. And Harry's like, what? Dumbledore's like, don't worry about it. And then Lucius Malfoy, he hands the book to Dobby, and Dobby's like, oh my gosh, Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is free. And then they're like, oh, well, this was a fun year. Well, I guess we'll have more adventures next year. And that's the end of book 2. And was it under 30 minutes?
Let's see. 23.
Hey, did it.
There you go.
I left a lot out, but that's okay.
Yeah. So, since we've got 7 minutes.
You have any questions?
the Chamber of Bros, like, describe to me how brotastic it is.
It is so brotastic. They have like a hat vendor, so you can have like snapbacks, put them on backwards.
I'm assuming these are like visor snapbacks. That's
yes, they have broth. They have broth. they have broth available.
Okay.
In case some people, they might not want the visor.
Yeah.
They got that. They have a ton of lounge chairs. They got pool tables. They got ping pong.
Crocs.
They got Crocs. In fact, no, you are not allowed at the Chamber of Bros unless you wear Crocs.
Oh,
Before they went down, Moating Myrtle was like, oh, by the way, if you guys want to go in there, you have to wear Crocs. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah. But to like help him like blend in, he wore camo Crocs.
Yeah, he wore camo Yeah, he wore camo Crocs.
What else do they have?
They have energy drink vending machines. Yeah, like Monsters.
Yeah,
Red
those
Bull.
are for all the Kyles.
Yeah, Monsters for the Kyles. Red Bulls are for the gamers.
Yeah. And then I have White Claw in there.
Oh yeah, they got White Claw because claw.
Yeah.
Gotta have the claw.
Yeah, those are just for mats.
Yeah. Yeah, so they got vending machines for that. They got some fun arcade machines. They got Xbox Ones.
Yeah, that would
hooked
be
up.
Xbox One.
They got Xbox Ones in there. It's actually like really comfy. Like honestly, the Basilisk, like he has like a disco ball up top, which is like pretty chill.
Yeah.
They got a really good like surround stereo speaker system going on. And like there's like a lot of fun like lounge chairs. They got there's actually a Pizza Hut and a Domino's in the chamber.
Wow.
That because sometimes you want like the stuffed crust, sometimes you want this.
Yeah. You want something that's overly garlic, and you get Domino's.
There you go. Now I really want pizza.
The za, man. We've been talking about it all.
We've been talking, yeah, exactly. That's why the best. See, what happened was Domino's and Pizza Hut, they ran out of ingredients, which is why he was like, "Hey, man, give me some pizzas, brah." It all comes full circle. Yeah. So it's like super chill place.
Yeah. So, with Arachnakid, explain to me like how like they look. Like what's the body of an Arachnakid?
Arachnakid, like in Harry Potter, Arachnakid.
Yeah, this is where he comes from.
Oh, okay, this is where he comes from. So an Arachnakid looks like a big fuzzy tarantula, but like more spindly. But he's got a pair of sunglasses for like the 4 pairs of eyes, because 8 eyes total, 4 pairs. He's got 4 sunglasses on. The main one is the top one, because it'll be like 2 up top, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 on the bottom. The top pair, shutter shades, obviously. The bottom pair are just Ray-Bans, classic black Ray-Bans. The right side are aviators.
Yeah, I'm liking.
And then the left side are they're those like, they're kind of like those like sports looking glasses. Like they usually have like a blue or green or like a gold film on them.
Yeah, they're like the Costa glasses.
Yes, yeah. So that's what he looks like.
He's a bro.
He is a bro. No, they're all bros. Arachnakid is a total bro.
Yeah.
Or he wants to be a bro, but he's still very like
he's a kid.
He's a kid.
Yeah. And like when he grows up, he'll be the Arachnabro.
Arachnabro. Yeah, that's So he's trying to be like his older brother's Arachnabro.
Yeah. Like we've taken the bro and
it's become too much.
It's become too much, but this is like my level of humor. Where,
no, I love that with like the constant like returning joke.
Like I take a joke and then I just
roll with it.
I just roll with it until like it's super thin, and then I take that thin piece and I just keep going.
Yeah, you keep going. What you do is you take the thin piece and then you zoom in a lot so it doesn't look thin anymore, and then you keep running it down.
Yeah, but it's super pixelated.
Yeah. And just keep doing it over and over again.
We've got 3 minutes. 2 minutes. Anything else you want to add to the story?
I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Describe Jenny's power.
Jenny's power is, so she's 7 foot tall, 11-year-old girl.
And
she has like extreme strength, but she doesn't know how to like control it or harness it yet.
Yeah, because she's
and that's her character development. Is that so by like she really starts to figure it out in book 4, but book 5 is when like it really kicks in for her. She's really like understanding how
just
to control
becomes
it.
like a beautiful soul.
Exactly.
Like she's trying to figure out that.
Yeah, so book 5 is when she really, really develops into it. And like book 6, like she is good to go. Everything is great. And Harry's like, wow, that's super cool.
Yeah. Like when you're like that's all I could picture was like this.
Oh man. So we have Harry taking notes trying to find out what a bro is.
Yeah.
And he learned a little bit this year.
Yeah, this year was a little less on the
Yeah,
bro.
but that's because he was trying to focus on some other stuff.
But he was trying to find the chamber of bro.
Exactly.
Like
so, but then like so whenever he got into the chamber, he got a better like feel for the aesthetic of the bro.
Yeah.
And so he was taking notes on that, but he still doesn't really know what it is to be a bro.
Yeah. He's still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
You know, he's like 12.
Yeah, he's only 12. He's got plenty of time.
Yeah, he's got a long life to live if Voldemort doesn't kill him.
There you go.
And you'll find out if Voldemort does kill Harry if you keep watching the series.
Yeah, eventually we'll get through all of them.
We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you have any suggestions on any books or movies or TV show or game or whatever you want us to remember.
Yeah.
As we stated each episode, if it's something that we haven't experienced before, we'll go through it.
But it'll take us a couple months, or at least maybe a few months to get to it because we have to allow ourselves time to forget what happened.
Yeah, because that's the whole point of the show. Like, we want to like know at least enough to be able to talk about it,
but not enough to be able to like
verbatim.
be able to tell you like this is exactly what happens here.
Yeah, because it makes it a lot more fun being able to fill it in.
Yeah, I skipped over like it's like basically like I think it's like 3 chapters worth of an arc, and because I totally skipped over all the Aragog stuff.
Aragog.
The Arachnid kid.
Oh,
I totally skipped over that, so I was like, at the last second, I was like, gotta bring it back.
If you liked it, let us know. Give us suggestions down below.
Yes.
All those good things. Make sure that you be a bro. And you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, whatever platform you're on, follow the page, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought about the episode.
Let us know what you think.
Share it with somebody that you love. You appreciate them. You're like, hey, you want something good?
Here, I'm being a bro.
Yeah, you can be part of the bro army. Dumbledore's bro army.
Dumbledore's army.
Dumbledore's army.
Dumbro doors.
All right, we're going to leave you with that one. This has been Zach.
And Allie.
Have a blessed week.